Kevin O'Leary's on Fox Business, undermining Biden's entire financial strategy, which appears to be, this is what it seems to be, Biden's plan is to keep raising inflation. How do those numbers go down? You can't do it under Biden. His big plan is to keep doubling down on his big mistakes, giving away more money through student loans. Remember that. And raising taxes, which Kevin O'Leary says is a disaster. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Thought I'd give you guys an economic update from Kevin O'Leary because he's nonpartisan. He's not a big Trump supporter. He's not there to make political points. He's there just to talk about the economy. So this is unbiased. You won't get this from other news pundits that are all about just getting either Biden to win or Trump to win. So then you can't trust exactly what they say. Kevin O'Leary, you can trust. Let's watch.
I think it's very simple. We did a lot of work during the pandemic itself to stimulate the economy from going into depression. Let's call that 1.5 trillion. And then we piled on with policy, notably the Inflation Reduction Act and then the Chips and Science Act for another 2 trillion.
Okay, I just want to underline the words, the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden had the guts to call it that. They knew they were lying and they were warned about it by every economist saying this is going to raise inflation. And that's why they called it the Inflation Reduction Act. It's what the Democrats do. They name everything the opposite of what it actually is because they think you're stupid.
We probably don't need that last 2 trillion, and it's manifesting itself in inflation. There's a lot of free money sloshing around, and so that's why you haven't seen these numbers go down.
Anytime you have free, cheap money, we all got it. I got some of it too. Free, cheap money. You have to dry that out of the system, dry that out of the economy, and it's too hard to dry it out. They're giving away so much of it, and they want to give away more is their whole goal.
Including lately billions in forgiving student loans. That's all inflationary. And it manifests itself in a bad place if you're the administration. You get it in housing, very hard on rent, obviously. Number two, you get it in gas prices, ouch, because you fill up every couple of days. And the food issue, up 30% on protein, that's not going away. I don't know how you fix it in 5 months.
You don't fix it in 5 months. He's specifically talking about the Biden administration having to fix it because he's going into an election year with high inflation. It's very hard to win with inflation this high. So this is going to be one of the biggest burdens Biden has to weather at this election is high cost of food, high cost of gas, high cost of housing and rent. Now, whose fault is that? Is that Trump's fault? You can't blame that on any Republicans. It is 100% Biden's fault, and it's probably going to doom his presidency no matter what Trump does or doesn't do. We have to continue to shackle the Democrats on what they do with the economy, which is they're anti-business, pro-Marxist. They want to buckle it all under government. They hate people freely doing with their own money what they want.
Any incumbent that is facing inflation, it's never good in the polls.
And that's good for us and good news for Trump. Kevin O'Leary is basically underlining how Trump is doing great and he despises what Biden does. He doesn't quite articulate it, but we all know from the plan that from his tone that Biden is very bad for a business in America, not to mention the lawfare that they're pulling off around the country also.
No, I thought you're right. Wages haven't kept up. And no, I don't think the Fed is going to help out here at all. You're talking about 4.5 months. I mean, you really can't turn inflation around in 4 or 5 months. It's impossible. And so I really do think the culprit is the extra 2 trillion of free helicopter money, chips and science and inflation reduction. I mean, I always love that name, Inflation Reduction Act, with a printing press behind it. I love the way they name these bills. That thing was the Inflation Act, and it's manifesting itself now.
So Biden, it would be delicious for him to lose this election because of that, in what Kevin O'Leary calls the Inflation Act, when they tried jamming down this Inflation Reduction Act on us all. And now this is what elections are for, to say you ruined our economy. If we're going to turn it around, we need Trump style, conservative, business-minded to come in and fix things. And that's where we're going to vote. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got many more videos on the economy coming up, including more with Kevin O'Leary. So thanks for subscribing. I'm Doug in Exile.